Hey, welcome back to my channel, Duct Tape Mechanic, and to another episode of my series, Free on Facebook, a series of videos in which I find things for free and I show you how to repair them, repurpose them, or recycle them in another manner. In this video, I got this Samsung dryer that's making weird noises while it's drying. So I'm going to show you how to fix that, and if you find this video to be helpful, make sure you subscribe to my channel for more DIY and tinkering videos. So here's the Samsung dryer. I got it on, and you can hear that it's making this weird rumbling noise, and it's not supposed to be doing that. So let's get to fixing this thing. So the first thing we need to do is we need to make sure the power is off, because this is 240 volts, so you do want to make sure it's unplugged from the wall. And then after that, we're going to lift up the top over here, and in order to do that, we're going to remove the two screws back here, and that this bracket holds on the top. So one screw is right here, and the other one is on the other side right here. So we'll do that next. Screws removed from the back. You can just kind of lift up from the back and kind of push forward. Oops, and that should come up easily. There's clips right here, but sometimes I find these clips are very difficult to compress with a putty knife or something. But that's how I got the lid up. And we're just going to rest it against something. Okay, so with the lid up, we're going to come and we're going to undo these three screws. So 1, 2, and 3. Then we're just going to take out the lint trap right here. This is how to take it out so I don't break anything. Then we'll remove these three screws. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so after those screws have been removed, we should be able to just kind of pull this off this hinge right here, and the whole top should come off. There she goes. And as you can see, the wire for the light is still connected, so we're just going to kind of pull that connector out of there. There we go. That's it. After that, we're going to have to undo this screw here, this one here, this one here, that one there, and should be just this one there. And we'll undo this plug right here as well. After all those are undone, let's just release this off the harness right here. Okay, and we should be able to lift this bulkhead off the drum. Next part is going to be taking out this drum right here. In order to do that, we're going to have to come over here and put our hand inside right here and kind of pull back on the idler pulley like so, and then release the tension on the belt. So you're going to do it like that, and hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I'm trying to do it one-handed here, and just pull the belt off the pulley. So what I basically did is I grabbed the pulley and kind of yanked it to the left over here. So here's the pulley, and I put it to the left, and that releases the belt. And now we can just take this drum off. Aside from all the lint that's in here, I immediately see the problem as well. Typically on these Samsungs, these rollers are notorious for being bad, and you'll just hear them, you can actually just feel them wobbling and stuff, but these particular rollers are good. But the majority of the time, if this noise is caused by bad rollers, and I'm going to show you how to replace these in this video anyways. I'm just going to clean these out and put them back in, but that's the same process for replacing them. But on this particular case, check this out. The idler pulley has completely come off. Here we go. So that's the pulley right there. It looks like it's damaged as well, but yeah, it's just completely has come off. And yeah, here's why it came off: is the retaining clip is broken. So that is a strange reason, I guess, it'd be making this noise, but it can happen. But the majority of the time, it's these notorious rollers, which are actually in really good condition on this one. But we're gonna go ahead and put a new pulley in, and I'll take these rollers off lightly, put some light lubricant on here and put them back on, and we'll put this thing back together after vacuuming it up, of course. So just a FYI, the idler pulley is not supposed to be like this. First of all, the bearing is partially sticking out, causing it not to spin at all. Second, looks like the belt has eaten through, or yeah, it looks like just the belt has been eating through this, or eating through this thing, because it's been stuck for so long. Anyways, that is not how it's supposed to look. Alright, so if your rollers were bad, as they are in most of these wash dryers, the way you replace it is pretty simple. You just have to undo this triangle retaining clip right here, like so, and just pull that out. And so what I like to do is I like to clean off the shaft here as well, then use some sort of silicone based lubricant to put on the shaft and the inside of these rollers. Then just go ahead and push this back in, and then put the clip back on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do that for all the rollers. That includes the ones that are on the back of this bulkhead here. I got to clean those out still, but I'm going to take them off, clean them up, and put them back on. But if you had to replace them, it would be pretty much the same steps. So it turns out my initial assessment was wrong. One of the rollers is bad. If you actually look at this one here, when I pulled it off, it just came right off. That's the typical Samsung problem right there. So 3 out of the 4 rollers are good, so I will just go ahead and replace them, pretty much using the same procedure I showed on how to take them off and then clean them and put them back on. But this one is broken, and that's typically what happens: is this bearing part gets seized on in the shaft and this part just breaks off. So in order to get that off, I usually just use pliers and just kind of wiggle it back and forth, and eventually it'll come right off. There we go. So get this cleaned up and get the new rollers on there, then I'll show you how to change the idler pulley. So this is the part number I'm using for this. I just ordered it off Amazon. It's a full kit. It comes with the rollers, the belt, and the pulley. So I'll just be using the rollers and the pulley in this video. I'll save the belt. I'll inspect it further. I don't think it has any damage, which is surprising because it was on the pulley that didn't have the actual pulley on it. It was just on the bar. But yeah, so for about 25 bucks, I don't think it's a bad deal. Okay, so to remove the old pulley, it's just got a screw right there, and then the spring is attached to that hole right there, so you can see it right there. And then what to do will be just doing the same process to install it, just putting on here, put the screw in, then put the spring in. Alright, so I didn't know how well my video was while I was installing this, but this is what it should look like when it's properly installed. That screw should be all the way in, and when you pull it back, it should disengage the belt broken switch. And so we'll see, zoom this out for a second, and then hear it click. That means the belt is actually intact. If the belt breaks, it would go like this, and that would prevent the drum from spinning. So that's how you install the idler pulley. So if your wash dryer is making this weird rumbling noise, it could be the pulley or it could be the rollers. But as you can see, these rollers are now smooth, spinning without any sort of noise. All right, so it's time to put this back together. First thing we'll do is put the drum back in. Got the drum in, we're gonna go ahead and put the belt on the idler pulley. It's gonna be a little bit difficult to see, but I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. This is what it looks like when the drum or the belt is on the idler pulley. You can see it goes through there, loops through the pulley and onto the motor shaft. All right, after that we'll put the bulkhead back on. To plug the moisture sensor back in. All right, for the next step, we'll put the door on. Note the hinges that the door will go on. There's slots that correspond to those at the bottom of the door, and that's important. And what can be tricky here is to make sure you plug in the door prior to installing, otherwise the plug gets hidden. And then after that, the door should just ease on to these clips. There we go. After that, we'll just put the screws back on. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is going to put this top back down and clip it into place and then screw in those brackets. You should just snap in. There we go. Alright, so I went ahead and plugged it back in. I don't have any clothes in there. That'll give me a good idea of how it's sounding. I'm going to power on. Alright, that's powered on. Let's just go to normal, I guess, and just hit start. And there we go. Nothing. Not a squeak. Not a rubbing sound. Not a rumbling sound. That's perfect. So that's how you repair your Samsung dryer that's giving off weird noises. So whether you open it up, you might discover it highly likely that it's the rollers, but it could also be the idler pulley or even the belt. So I recommend getting that whole entire kit for around 25 bucks. And if you're unsure, just do all three of them. It takes a matter of minutes. So hope you like this video. Make sure you hit the thumbs up sign.